I'm calling it. I'm going to say like the cool girls these days are just documenting life. The cool girls are not scripting. The cool girls are just talking extemporaneously into a camera. Here we go. Is that better? I think that is like more, kind of like at eye level, even though this is very precarious. Everything in my life is precarious these days. Okay, so the thing is, I didn't script this at all, and I just told myself, like, you gotta document. You gotta just, like, pick up the camera and get back to, like, filming something. And isn't documentation more interesting anyway than doing something that's really like formal and scripted and planned? And we all want more real life, don't we? Like, is that what we want? We want more real life from real people. Yeah, so... And then I was just like, well, what if I just like give some updates on like stuff that's going on, stuff I'm doing? And then I'm like, what's going on? What am I doing? Like, I basically just go to the same like 4 coffee shops over and over and over, and I like work on stuff there. I feel like this isn't that interesting of a life update, but it's like literally all I've got, like I'm on draft 4 of my novel. And you know what it is about drafting a novel is that it takes a long time. It doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. Like I always am like, I should just like film my days. I should document the process of writing. And then I'm like, it looks like me sitting at the computer. That's all I've got. And I'm like, I don't even want to film that because I'm like, oh, I look really bad. But then I've heard that the cool girls are not caring about how they look. Like the cool girls are just showing up in videos looking terrible, and that the worse you look, the better you do. And I'm like, but also I can't quite bring myself to do that. I'm not ready. I mean, like not that I think I look like amazing, but I could look a lot worse than this. That would be the final frontier, I think, of authenticity. And yeah, we're not there yet. But anyway, draft 4. You know what this draft is? It's like, I've started to think that this is like, it's like a game of chess. I have never played chess in my life, but I can use a chess metaphor, I think, or I might be like misusing a chess metaphor. But anyway, I see myself as playing a game of chess in writing this novel. And I'm like looking down at my board and I put all of these pieces into position, and they're really like in precise positions. And there are just a few more pieces I need to move around. And if I move them correctly, if I make exactly the right moves, I win the game. Namely, which I guess means I put out a good book. I've written a good book. But if I move them incorrectly, I lose the game. And I feel like this metaphor is kind of breaking down here because I'm like, who am I even playing against? Like, am I playing against society? No, I want society to like my book. Am I playing against my haters? I don't even have any haters yet. Literally no one has read this book. Am I playing against myself and my own tendency towards self-criticism and proving to myself, hey, I can finish this and I can write something good? Maybe that's the one. Actually, I think that's the one. So anyway, I'm like looking down this chessboard and I'm like, ooh, there are some very precise moves I got to make here, and I don't know how to make them exactly. And so, yeah, I mean, even more so than just like I'm sitting and looking at my computer, like a lot of the time I'm kind of just like sitting and being like, I don't even know where to go from here. That's documentation of how things are. I've also been wearing like the same maybe 4 outfits over and over and over and over for several months. And I thought maybe I'll make this bean thing for dinner that I've not made in a little while. So that's interesting. And that probably will happen. So I guess we have that to look forward to. There's always dinner. Wrong attitude. And here's another one of those repeat outfits. Anyway, I went begrudgingly to the grocery store and looked begrudgingly at some spring flowers and then went home to cook. And I tried to get excited about what I was doing. I really did. And I just could not summon the excitement no matter how many times I tried to smile at myself in the camera. And I just could not figure out what my problem was. Okay, but then I thought, you know what? Like, I could just do something. Like, I don't have to let the world get me down. I don't have to let, apparently, life in London get me down, even though I know people dream about this life. I used to be one of those people who dreamed about this life. What happened to me? Where did she go? I don't know. I don't know. She got lost in the immigration system. That is what happened. She got lost in the UK immigration system. That was the death of all my optimism. Not really. I'm optimistic. I am optimistic. I just maybe I feel like sometimes life in the UK gets me down. And sometimes it is just like, you know what? I think I just miss home. I'm just homesick, you know. I feel that sometimes this life can be a life of a lot of pressure. It can be a life of having to perform at like every moment. I'm performing right now, obviously. And then I thought, you know what, though? I could just go and have fun. I don't have to perform. I can just go and have fun. I can just enjoy the city. But then I thought, oh no, you know what? I have to go to Boots because I have to get sunscreen because I'm out of sunscreen. So I guess I'm not going to go and like have an adventure and have fun. I have to go run an errand. Pressure. You know? But then I thought, oh, well, you know what? I could go and get sunscreen and then I could stop somewhere on the way back, like a cute coffee shop. And then I was like, oh, yeah. And like, what am I going to do in a cute coffee shop? I'm going to work on stuff. Pressure. And then I thought, well, what if I like reframe the way I think about what I work on though? And then I'm like, we might be onto something because I can reframe it always. I can always reframe what I'm doing. And I was like, you know what? I can go to a cute coffee shop and I can like work on my writing and be like, you know what? I am such a glamorous urban city writer. I'm doing something interesting with my life. Yeah. So I put on another one of those outfits and then added my astrology themed necklace to remind myself of who I am. And I did indeed go to one of those coffee shops I go to all the time, but this time I tried to do it with a new attitude. I tried this time to kind of, fake it until I make it. Okay, so we had an emotional journey. When do I not? No, it's like constant. Like I'm like always like in this emotional journey train, it seems like always figuring out some new theory of life. And then I like am so on it for a while. And then I'm like, is that actually my theory of life? Maybe not. Maybe it's not my theory of life. No, but like I think in the act of documentation, did I realize something? I perhaps did. As time went on, I was like, you know what, actually, like, yeah, I can just do stuff. Like, I don't actually have to wallow in the way I was wallowing. And then towards the very end, I was like, actually, you know what? Enthusiasm works. Like, I have to do stuff that I enjoy doing if I'm going to do it. Like, is that so groundbreaking? I mean, it shouldn't be, but I feel like it really is in society these days. Like the idea that you can just do stuff that you like and enjoy. Wow. Yeah. Who would have thought? Like, who would have thought that everything doesn't need to be a problem always? Who would have thought that you don't have to hate everything you do? Who would have thought? And this always brings me back to a couple of thoughts that have been percolating in my mind for a while. And the first relates to an interview that I read probably, I don't know, up to a year ago between Tavi Gevinson, who as a teenager founded like an online fashion magazine, and online cultural critic, essayist Rain Fisher Kwan. And in this interview, I remember them talking about the distinction between being a critic and being a fan. And those are kind of like the two, I guess, poles of how somebody can experience and approach creative work, understanding of society, consuming, I hate the word consuming for art, but consuming art or cultural products. Ugh. A fan goes in kind of wanting to love something, like wanting to just like thoroughly enjoy it. And a critic goes in wanting to analyze it, break it into its component parts, understand what does and doesn't work. And from the moment I read this, I'm like, oh, right, yeah, like I think I'm definitely a fan. Like in my heart of hearts, I am a fan. But I think like I am a fan who, through the various machinations of life, has been forced to act as a critic. And I think that this maybe started with me wanting to like have a lot of academic success and be seen as really like insightful and incisive in my criticisms of, I don't know, ideas about the world. And, often I think you do end up falling into a critical lens when you are trying to appear smart. Like generally, I would say enthusiasm is considered less smart than criticism for some reason, even though I think it's perfectly valid to love things and it doesn't mean you're stupid if you love things. But the fact that I even have to defend this point just goes to show that I think there is something within culture that makes people feel like if they love something, like there's something, I don't know, there's some like intellectual deficit in them, which is not true. It is not true. It's great to love things. But I think like in our culture, we are conditioned not to love things and not to just like wholeheartedly appreciate something. Like we are conditioned to criticize. And then I think the internet and like social media as it works today has only exacerbated that, where we end up with these algorithms that often do push really critical content, like stuff that's going to stir up debate, stuff that's going to make people a little bit angry. And, you know, some of the criticisms are valid, some are invalid. But I think that for the longest time, I thought that I needed to fit myself into the critic's box. And I thought I needed to apply this critical lens to everything in life. And I thought that, I mean, it's not just related to like what I make creatively or what I post to the internet. It was kind of like, I felt also that I always needed to be applying a critical lens almost like to myself, to my behaviors, to my activities, and like always wanted to like figure out the problem of why am I not feeling completely happy? And then I think like in this just like couple of days of documentation that I did, I realized the reason I wasn't feeling completely happy was because I wasn't allowing myself to be enthusiastic about anything. But the trick about enthusiasm that I also learned in maybe conducting this experiment is that to be enthusiastic about something, you actually have to like it. But the other insidious thing about criticism, though, is that I really thought that I could train myself to love criticism. I thought that I could decide that I was going to have a lot of fun with doing critical work, with writing essays of cultural criticism, with critiquing books and ideas online. I thought I could train myself to like and enjoy that and to be enthusiastic about it. But what it turned out was that I could not. I was trying before filming this video actually to come up with a video essay / written essay work of cultural criticism on a topic that I've been seeing floating around the internet these days. And I was trying to write it, and I was like, I couldn't do it. Like I just was not feeling excited about it, even though I chose this topic and I did all this research on it, but I just could not summon the interest, like the fundamental interest in it. And then I realized like it's because I didn't love it. And I'm just realizing how much happier I feel when I just like allow myself to enjoy stuff. And like it also comes back to like how I'm writing. And I think that at the very beginning where I was talking about the chessboard of my novel and like what it takes to finish my novel, I was also really applying this overcritical lens to my own work. And I was feeling very much like I have to anticipate what people will say about this so that I can preempt those criticisms and like produce a perfect work. Whereas, of course, that's not going to be possible. And it ultimately just stymied me in like getting anything done on my novel and in actually feeling like happy about it and enthusiastic about it. And I realized when I let go of that drive to criticize myself, like suddenly the words started flowing a lot more. What worked a lot better than like trying to like construct the perfect moves of like whatever characters I'm moving around. What actually worked better was where I was like, how can I be the most diabolical possible here? Like, what is the most like diabolically ridiculous thing I can do in this scene that I've set up to just like really up the tension? And you know what? That was fun. Like, there is nothing more satisfying when you're like, oh, like, that's horrible. Or I can't believe that person said that. Or I can't believe that person did that. Or like, I can't believe they had that thought. Like that, when I like turn up the diabolical nature of the writing, like, oh my God, it's so much more fun. It's so much more fun. And so I feel like that too, like comes back to this enthusiasm, this desire to lead with emotion and not to lead with like this critical analytical mind. And it's not to say that analysis and criticism are not good. And it's not even to say that some people do not love them. Like for some people that probably is their enthusiasm, but it's not for me. And I think maybe the thing about life, like the thing we all have to do in life is figure out like what our source of enthusiasms are and just like see if we can follow those. And then like, I don't know, like just document them maybe. I mean, it's been pretty fun actually to just like really let go and, you know, try to have fun with stuff. Because yeah, I wasn't having fun with stuff. And like, wow, I mean, if I really get it together, maybe I'll like start wearing some different outfits. Or like maybe I will start cooking new things that aren't recipes I've made like a million times before. Even though the bean thing was good, it's always good. That recipe is a 10 out of 10 winner. But yeah, different outfits, new activities, maybe even a new coffee shop or two. Like the possibilities are endless if you really tap into your enthusiasm for life instead of just like doing what you feel like you should be doing to seem smart or important or to seem like you're going to like make money. So that's what I'm going to take from this couple of days of documentation. It actually has been a great time for once. Like I feel like from now on, why don't I just document? Like, why do I have to like do stuff that makes me miserable? I don't. Yeah. Okay. I guess that's it.